Hey guys, how is everyone doing? It's like day 9 of the apocalypse, and I honestly wanted to come to you guys sooner, but recently I've been sick. With the flu. Or coronavirus. But probably the flu. But now that I'm all healed up, I feel ready to talk to you about E3, which is probably gone forever. Around the time the World Health Organization announced the coronavirus was a big deal and us to stay inside, a bunch of events have been canceled, especially gaming-wise, and E3 was one of the events that got canceled due to the coronavirus. However, even though E3 got canceled, it was probably going to be the most disappointing E3 in years. A number of companies and people already pulled out of E3 before the coronavirus was even involved. Like Sony said they weren't going to have a conference this year, EA said they weren't going to have a conference, even Jeff Keighley, who's been to every single E3 since creation, said he didn't like the path E3 was heading, so he pulled out as well. With Sony and Microsoft and Jeff Keighley pulling out, it kind of sparked the debate again of like, how relevant is E3 now? And do these huge companies really need to go to E3 to get word out on their game or their new consoles? It's expensive to rent space at E3, so if you can avoid renting the space at E3 and then just stream your own event, it doesn't make a lot of sense to go. But companies still do it, except Nintendo. Since 2014, Nintendo's just been doing the whole digital direct thing. They didn't like rent out a stage and do the conferences. I mean, they're still there, they still do the Nintendo Treehouse stuff, and they're there at E3, but the main conferences they've been doing digital pre-recorded for like a while, and it's been going good for them. And unlike Sony and Microsoft, they're not spending the same amount of money to rent out all this space. They're still getting space on the show floor, but not for the actual conference itself. Sony did say they're gonna pull out E3 and they're just gonna announce their own stuff like on their own time, and they have the PlayStation experience they do every year, except for last year they got canceled, but they can just do it again this year. The Nintendo digital conference for E3, I was wondering like, why is that E3 there? I know it's E3 time, but are they actually at E3? Did E3 get a cut of the money? Because I think, realistically speaking, you don't have to show up to E3. You can just drop your E3 conference and just put it in the title of your YouTube video, and it's like, boom, it's like I was at E3 the entire time. Because Nintendo's been doing that for years now, and it's been going great. I'm serious, I'm serious. I'd like to see just some company, like any company, just like drop their digital conference, just put E3 in the title on the same week of E3, and people are like, ooh, E3, and then they'll just get the views anyway. Is that illegal? I don't think that's illegal, is it? But back to the coronavirus itself, since E3 is being canceled, it's not like the news and gaming is just gonna stop as a whole. They still have stuff they wanted to announce, and they're still gonna announce that stuff. Microsoft says they're gonna do their own event instead of E3 to like get the news across, I think in the form of a live stream. Other companies are saying they're considering it or like finding new avenues to get it out. Because E3 isn't happening, these companies still exist and they still have news that they need to get out. Honestly, if the companies just start streaming all this news around the same time of E3, honestly, it doesn't have to be around the same time of E3. They can just make their own event, just announce their own shit. Then I don't think E3 may happen next year. You have to say like, wow, we saved a lot of money this year and we still got like a good amount of views and all the stuff that we put out. I mean, I really think they could just save a lot of money by not going to E3 and doing their own digital conference. This is not an invention. This is not an idea that I've invented. This is something that like Nintendo has already been doing and other people have already been saying, because like it's almost like a no-brainer at this point. Like just make your own digital conference, record it so you don't have to get out of show floor and all this stuff, get it out to the people to see and be like, wow, this is great. And I'm thinking that E3 may not happen next year because the ESA that runs E3, they did say they do want to do an E3 in 2021, assuming this coronavirus thing doesn't kill us all. But I'm saying that if the companies still announce their stuff this year and realize, wow, I didn't actually need E3 to get this reach out anyway, then they may just be like, it's good, I'm not going to E3 next year. Because like Sony wasn't going, EA wasn't going. I mean, like they were going, like EA Play was still going to happen, but they weren't going to have like the whole big conference and be less involved with the actual event. If you're wondering, there must be a reason these companies haven't done this before and that they are doing it now, and it is because E3 started back in 1995 when the internet and online streaming wasn't as big as it was now. Like back then, E3 made sense. You can get like all the game journalists and people involved and get them all in that one area, like, play these new games, we have all these announcements, like people paid attention to it. But the thing is, like, it's a lot less relevant now because like the internet exists and it's very easy to access your followers, like especially on Twitter, Facebook, and social media. You can just tweet at them, let them know you have news coming up, or like I said, Nintendo Directs happen, state of plays happen, the PlayStation experience. There's all these different ways that are already out there the companies use to get news to everyone. I'm saying, like, if you can do this with the internet and everyone's doing this, why do you really need E3? The ESA has known that E3 could potentially be at this risk, I think. That's why in 2017 they opened E3 to the public, and by that I mean like before it was just like media people, like content creators and like game journalists, game developers. Those are people there, like not us who are just considered the normal viewer. Although I'm a bit of a game journalist myself. But like anyone who could just buy a ticket and like, hearing from like a lot of content creators I know that go to E3, they just didn't like it. Like the place where they hold it, it was like filled. There's all this stuff too with I don't know. I heard this one story about like these YouTubers trying to get content for like their channel. They find some game developers like hiding some, like literally hiding somewhere. It's like, why are you guys hiding? We're just trying to get away from everyone, man. It's so crazy. So like, I don't actually know who liked the fact that E3 opened up to the public. In my opinion, I thought it was probably just about the money. Maybe there's more to it, but like, at least that's what I've heard. A lot of people do not actually like that E3 is open to the public. I assume people who are buying tickets to actually go, they probably like, ooh, it's so good to be at E3, but like the lines are so long, you'll stand in line all day and barely get to play anything. It's just like, I don't understand why they would do it. So after the 2017 opening to the public, I'm surprised they're gonna do it again in 2018 and 2019, and they're gonna do it again in 2020. They really were gonna do it. E3 2020 was actually gonna be different than the other ones. The ESA wanted to rework it, so it'd be, what's the exact words here? A fan, media, and influencer festival. I think that was some of the reason that Jeff Keighley left. Like he didn't really like the path that E3 was heading down, so he removed himself from the equation. But he doesn't like shit on E3. Like he wants E3 to succeed, and he just thinks E3 can't have a future. It just needs to do things differently. When I heard like fan, media, and influencer festival, I was just like, this seems kind of odd. They're talking about stuff of like, oh, we'll get like stuff for you guys to do while you're in line. Like I like the idea of like, you know, making a line like less boring. At the same time, I feel like these lines probably wouldn't be as big if you didn't invite people that weren't gaming journalists and media. Also, the way it sounded, because like they're being very vague. Like there's this things even called experimental zones. That's the exact quote, and they're being very vague. But like it sounded like they're trying to turn E3 almost into like a convention, like more of a normal game convention. Like, oh yeah, we got stuff for like the media people, we got stuff for like just the normal fans coming. It's gonna be great. And I feel like, does E3 really need to be a media convention? Like, I don't know, ESA, that's the company, they could probably just, I don't know, maybe make their own kind of game convention type things, but like, the idea sounds creative, but I'm not necessarily sure it's necessary. I'm not even sure if it's gonna work. And that was gonna be this 2020. However, now that's got canceled, it's probably gonna be in 2021. And I thought, oh, that could sound fun, but Jeff Keighley, who I respect, it feels weird that he would just pull himself out of the equation if he didn't like the path that E3 was heading at with this. So I'm questioning, like, is this gonna be a good thing? I'm not too sure. It seems with E3 making missteps that publishers may just smarten up any day now and just be like, you know what, screw it, we're not doing E3. Especially if like whatever the conferences or digital events they're planning in light of the coronavirus, if that goes well, then 2019 E3 may have been the last E3 that we have seen. It's probably unlikely, but it's just what I think. All right, guys, that's all I gotta say on the matter. And you know, it's the pandemic hour, so you know, gamers, stay inside. We got this. If you go outside, make sure to wear these masks, man. You gotta stay safe. Always stay safe. I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.
I am the unstoppable. I shoot all the goals. I've been writing my own parable, feeling terrible. Cause I have to break it to you niggas, your bro's got no soul. And if you ask for my opinion, then I'll fucking eat you whole. Niggas acting like a parody.